Anyway, all right. All the beef is in the barn. Go, Gogs, go.
Welcome to Movie the Podcast. That's right, Movie the Podcast. It is the first week of Gimme Some September Lovin', and
it's off theme.
We're already off theme because the internet, www.wikipedia.rockandroll/gimme some lovin' did not do me right.
You know what?
My pick that I was going to be also doesn't have it in it when I looked at the actual soundtrack.
It's fine. Just go with it. Who cares?
That list is bullshit because it said Tropic Thunder has it. It does not.
I wouldn't be surprised if this movie had it on the cutting room floor because there are several song montages.
I think I figured out what the problem is. There is an album of music from this era called Good Morning Saigon, and it's on that album. It is not on but it's not in Robin Williams' Good Morning Vietnam.
Yeah, Barry Levingston, Maryland's own Barry Levingston's Good Morning Vietnam. A movie that, we're elder millennials, my favorite new term.
You
guys heard a lot about this movie when you were a kid, right?
Oh my God.
They hyped the shit out of this movie.
A huge push.
This is a very big movie when we were younger.
This movie sucks.
I don't know about you guys, but I never saw this before.
This is my first viewing.
Has any of you ever seen this before?
I had not.
Yeah,
I saw it years ago.
Yeah. It's a mom and dad movie, as Sean and I like to describe.
100%.
This is like Boomer the movie too. We'll get into it, but I like to think that I'm pretty keen on a lot of references that are way beyond my years. And this movie hit some of his riffs. I'm like, I have no fucking idea what he's talking about. What is he talking about? I have no clue. Anyway.
His jokes in this movie are so middle of the road and just safe, but at the same time, wildly offensive. It's insane.
We'll have a lot it's a bad movie, but we'll have a lot to talk about. I think. Anyway. Excuse me. So what did y'all watch this week? Alec.
I watched one thing.
I watched
A24.
Ooh.
A24's Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh.
Is this your first time seeing that?
Yes.
I also watched it, but I'm not going to say anything because I've already talked about it. Go ahead. I can't wait to hear this.
I liked it a lot. I enjoyed it.
All right.
I thought it was really good.
It'd break my heart if you didn't like that movie.
It didn't reach the pinnacles of what everybody else has been saying about it. I think it's been overhyped.
Yeah, that's
literally everybody I know that's seen it tells me it's the greatest thing ever for 6 or 7 months now. And I saw it and I was like, it's really good. It's just nothing wrong with it.
It's hard to live up to that hype.
Yeah, when it's just been shoved down your throat for so long. Not that it was not that I disliked it at all. I thought it was really good. The performances are really good. Michelle Yeoh's great. The dude is great. Jamie Lee Curtis is fucking wild as shit in it. Whoever the young lady was who plays her daughter, I felt like she stole the show.
Really
She's
good.
so good. And I was looking at her IMDb and I didn't recognize anything she's been in. I think she was in that Nora from Queens show, but I haven't watched that. The Aquafina show.
Oh yeah.
On
Comedy Central. I think I've seen an episode of that.
But no, I thought it was really good and it was really interesting. It was a bit much at times, Hot Dog Fingers universe.
Yeah.
I didn't need that. It already I felt like it showed enough wild differences in the universes without there was points between that and the Rakakuni. I was like, is this am I having a fever dream?
I loved Rakakuni.
Did I take a bunch of Stacy's weed gummies and I didn't realize it? Because
Rakakuni was awesome. And then at the end, when they
saving Rakakuni.
Yeah, that was awesome.
But no, overall I really enjoyed it. I think it's a really good movie. I was looking back through A24's list of movies to see where it fell, and it's hard to place it because they've had so many good ones.
Yeah,
I was like, is it better than a Ghost Story? Probably.
Yeah,
because it really, but Is it better than First Reformed? Is it better than? Because A24 has just had so many bangers.
It's such a hard movie to like judge against other movies because it's such like a crazy spectacle. You know what I mean? Like, especially with like A24 movies, they don't really do that. Like, they're usually pretty small scale movies, and this movie is impossibly huge. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of wild.
It's like, I don't know how a human mind can like come up with something like that. And I said that before about Dogtooth, but that was in a bad way. Like, how, I don't know how somebody's brain can function in a way where they come up with like that plot of this movie.
Two guys' brains.
Oh, they were drift compatible then.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I'll give it a rewatch at some point.
I think I'd be interested to see your thoughts on the rewatch because I loved it on the first viewing, and the rewatch just completely sold it for me. Once you got once you understand what the movie's about to do, you can kind of dig into like the little nuanced bits a lot. It's like, I don't know. I fucking absolutely adore that movie. I'm part of the hype train. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's fine. Like I said, it's a good movie. Just, I don't know if it's the best movie I've ever seen, but it's good. It's very good. I like the scene where they're rocks.
Yeah, that's like probably the best scene. I love that scene.
Yeah, and I didn't expect it to be so like emotional and gut wrenching.
Yeah,
at points.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I watched though. Like this past couple of weeks at work, have been just trash, and like I just haven't had time to watch anything. Gogs.
I watched Hamburger Hill because I was like, we got to watch a movie with Give Me Some Lovin' in it.
You didn't say one thing. You didn't say how many things you watched.
Oh, I'm sorry. I watched one thing.
I
watched Hamburger.
How dare you?
I watched Hamburger Hill. That movie.
That's a good movie.
It's not bad.
I remember liking that movie.
It's a very. Here's the thing. There's nothing memorable about it.
It was on TV a lot.
It's just like, it's a movie that's like every Vietnam movie trope. I don't know where it fell in the list of like when Vietnam movies were made, but like it's got like every Vietnam War movie trope kind of ever, and it sort of just touches on all of them, but it doesn't necessarily execute any of them like better than any other movie. Like, it's not better than Apocalypse Now, Platoon, or Full Metal Jacket.
I've never seen Hamburger Hill, but that's how I felt about We Were Soldiers.
Yeah, right. And that was
like, it's a perfectly competent movie, but like nothing about it was better than all the other Vietnam movies that do the same exact thing.
Perfectly cromulent film.
Yeah. It biggins the hearts of men, but it was I mean, it's got Dylan McDermott in it, and like a bunch, and Don Cheadle and like Courtney B. Vance. It's got a bunch of like B-list, like middle relievers. Like, it's got like,
suck it, Don Cheadle.
Oh, Don Cheadle, I guess, is pretty good. But yeah, like the rest of them, it's kind of like, okay, I know you from this, or I know you from that, but not like a whole ton of star power. And it does everything you kind of expect a Vietnam movie to do, right? And so it's just sort of
shocking lack of hamburgers, though.
Right.
Actual.
And I guess it's based on an actual assault on a hill that I guess, was very controversial because they went after this hill for like a week straight and lost a ton of guys, only to just it being tactically inconsequential, and they just gave the hill up afterwards.
And I can't think of the name of it, but there was a documentary. It was on Netflix forever, and it was about the Afghanistan war. It's Restrepo or something.
Restrepo.
You ever see that shit? Yeah. That was like that was same a documentary idea. About the same thing. That was fucking depressing.
It was this fire base that they made them hold. Cost,
they held this base for like 2 years for fucking nothing.
No reason.
No fucking reason at all. It's like, oh.
Yeah. No.
War is fucking stupid.
Yeah. But it was, I mean, like, it wasn't bad. It did have Give Me Some Lovin' in it, and it had it in a whorehouse scene, so it was kind of thematically on point.
Little on the nose.
But that was it. It was just, I got back-to-back Vietnam movies, and, yep, neither of them particularly good. It was better than Good Morning Vietnam, which we'll get into.
Vietnamgist.
Yeah, but that was it. Sean.
Oh, I didn't watch anything. TJ.
Hell yeah.
He watched his arrows pierce the veil.
The heart of God.
Yes, yeah. Sean is living his Final Fantasy fantasies by killing God with a bow. He's out there in Florida suplexing trains.
He's got the Ypres bow. He's just getting it done.
he's summoning.
Yeah, I'm like a soft Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Sean changes his name to Sid. Anyway, that's enough. That's all I got for Final Fantasy jokes. I watched one thing. I watched two things, but I watched everything everywhere all at once again. It was really good. Like Alex just said, I really liked it. It's probably the third time I've watched it, but I don't want to talk about that movie. I've talked about it to death. I watched one movie against my will.
Oh, okay.
Is that the title of the movie?
No. I meant to watch. It's funny. I went through and I really wanted to watch something last night specifically to talk about on the show. So I looked up the best horror movies this year that I haven't seen. Not that I have, just the best horror movies, and then I try to pick out the ones I've seen.
Is that a genre on Google?
It should be
horror movies. TJ hasn't seen.
Yeah, but anyway, I started this journey way too late at night, and I found all the movies and I downloaded them. But by the time they were done, it was 11:45, and even though I had the day off yesterday. We all know if TJ starts a movie at 11:45 at night, I'm gonna fall asleep. It's just not. It's not possible for me to stay awake. Anyway. So I had jury duty on Thursday or Wednesday.
I think I'd watch Pauly Shore's Jury Duty. Okay,
no, should have.
I had
jury duty.
I had that would have been better than what I watched. So I had jury duty this week on Wednesday, and it's a bunch of bullshit. First of all. They literally they put you in this. I had to report this American Legion Hall, and it looked like it was very.
What?
It was so they explained it. It's usually at the courthouse, but since COVID, they need room to space everybody out, and now they've lifted a lot of the COVID restrictions, but it's still just more convenient for them to have it at the American Legion Hall down the street from the courthouse. Anyway, very dystopian, right? Basically, it looks like a gym, and it's about, I would guess, probably 80 people in there, myself included. Mm-hmm. And there's just rows of fucking regular-ass folding chairs, metal folding chairs, but all spaced about 4 feet apart. And, you can't take phone calls. They want you to stay quiet, basically. It's very strange. Then they have this little TV, in front of everybody, and the lady that was coordinating the whole thing, she's like, all right, well, to pass the time, we're gonna watch some movies.
Oh no.
Boy.
Were you like, ooh, movies?
Yeah, I love movies. I was like, I hope they play La Age d'Or.
I hope Hereditary comes on.
Yeah, right. Play something. Yeah, I hope they play something fun. And I'm such a fucking movie dweeb. I wanted to try to see if I could guess the movie before, a lot of mid-tier movies. Well, not necessarily mid-tier, but a lot of movies. There's pre-roll before the title card.
Yeah.
So I was trying to guess what the movie was in the 2 minutes before the title card, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And then the title card comes up, and it's The Intern. And I do my internal brain search. I'm like, I don't remember The Intern. What the hell is The Intern? Well, let me tell you what The Intern is. It stars Anne Hathaway and Robert De Niro. And basically, Anne Hathaway is a nice CEO, which already just makes me crawl in my skin like Linkin Park. A nice CEO doesn't exist. Capitalism sucks. But anyway, they decide that they're going to hire old people as interns, and the entire movie is literally just polite Robert De Niro, which is something you just don't want. Robert De Niro is always good as a character that's got some edge. Even in Meet the Fockers, he's kind of edgy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's nice, but he's I'll fuck you up. Yeah. Well, I mean, he's like outwardly nice for the most part, but you know what I mean? Like, there's something to him. But imagine a Robert De Niro that's just like a nice old man. That's like his whole character. And then like the whole movie is like I don't know what a Google is. What's a Google search? Like back in my day, we wore pocket squares. And it's like, what the fuck is this movie? There's like no jokes. Like I don't know what the hell they were going for. There's like no tension. There's nothing. There's no like. It's fucking awful. Oddly enough, Adam Devine is in the movie, and Anders Holm from Workaholics. They're both in the movie, which I was like, what the fuck?
Did they like write it or something? Maybe?
I should have looked up the credits. I don't know. I imagine there's probably some connection since they're both in it. Anders plays Anne Hathaway's husband, and Adam plays basically Adam from Workaholics, but like a very like G-rated version of him. He's just,
that's all he ever plays.
Yeah, it's really, really bad. It's really boring, and it's just like every cliched like, you know, when I was a man, we wore suits to work and blah, 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 and I'm just a good old dude, and I respect work and blah blah. Oh God, it's just like, ugh, it's so bad. And then there was one part in the movie that like just kind of slid by, and I'm like, wait, what? Where Robert De Niro is a widower, and at one point he talks to Anne Hathaway about his late wife, and she's like, oh, when did you all meet? And he was like, she was 19 and I was 28, and they just like blow right by that. And I'm like, what? Like I was drawing on my iPad, and I like, because I was kind of listening to this movie more than I was watching it, and you didn't need to watch, like you could, you know what I mean? There's no visual stimuli was needed for this film, but it definitely made me put the pen down for a second. Go, wait, what? What did you just say? 19 and 28, huh? That's a little weird. But yeah, one of the worst pieces of shit, like movie. Apparently, Alec looked it up, and the movie made like $1 bazillion.
195 mil on a budget. But I don't understand a budget of 30. Like, what could they have spent $30 million on?
It on? Yeah. Also, it was funny because I was telling this to the fucking HR guy at my work. He's like, "Oh, what happened?" I was like, "I had to watch this shitty movie." He's like, "Oh, what movie?" And I was like, "Oh, the fucking internship or whatever it was." He's like, "Oh, I love that movie." I was like, "Ooh." Ooh, you have terrible.
Sure he didn't mix it up with the
no, he knew
movie.
He knew exactly what it was, because he's like, I thought it was nice that like an old man was useful. I'm like, oh God, like, ugh. I don't know. The only like tension in the entire movie was that Anders like cheated on Anne Hathaway because she works too much. But even that, like, it's resolved in the most like unnatural way possible, where like basically they get back together and everything is fine. It's like, wait, what? Like, it's so bad.
Just like the way normal people do.
Yeah.
Your jury duty sucked. When I had to go to jury duty, it was in Towson. I didn't have to give my phone up. I watched like 3 movies. They gave us $20 for lunch.
Oh hell yeah!
I went to the Green Turtle for my lunch break and watched like an Orioles day game. It was great. As soon as I get back from lunch, they're like, "Oh, cases are dismissed," and I got paid from work.
Yeah, I actually might get paid from work because I handed them the note and they're like, "Oh, I think this is actually an excused absence. I think you'll get paid." So that's nice. But yeah, it was
be
terrible.
An excused absence. You can't not go.
Yeah, it was awful though. I just sat around, and then they played this.
I would rather be sitting there watching The Intern than doing work any day.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Also, yeah, I really do hate my job. They also started playing The Sandlot, which a guy in
front could have played that first.
Yeah, a guy in front of me, like, I like The Sandlot, don't get me wrong, but there was a guy like in front of me that like either it was his first time ever seeing it, or like literally it was the funniest thing this man has ever seen in his life. He was like dying of laughter. I was like, "Sir, calm down." Like, I don't know what is going on in your head, but it is not that funny, my guy. Like, it's a cute movie. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I like The Sandlot, but like this guy was like on the floor. Like, it was ridiculous. But yeah, then I got to go home. I got $15 in cash and sent on my way home. But yeah, that's all I watched. Don't watch that. Already forgot the title. Don't watch that movie. It's god awful. Also, it's funny. I forgot to mention because of course the movie has to have a love interest. So like Renee Russo is in the movie, and at one point she's like, she's talking to De Niro, and she's like, "Oh, people our age." I quickly looked that up, and Rob De Niro is like 22 years older than Renee Russo. Our age.
It's funny. I was just reading an article earlier about age discrepancies in Hollywood movies.
Yeah, more about that later in our feature presentation, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that movie was awful. That's everybody. Time for our feature presentation. Good morning, Vietnam.
Oh wait, it wasn't in this movie.
Was it could have been.
I mean, it should.
The soundtrack that was there wasn't bad.
It should have been. The soundtrack absolutely slaps.
Yeah. The soundtrack is the best part of the movie. Like, the soundtrack is legitimately very good.
Yep.
But the movie is basically comedy. Like, guys with sticks up their asses say that comedy is not funny, and Robin Williams likes comedy. And then there's a war, and then he gets captured, but then not captured, and then they're like, "You went too far because you like comedy," and then they send him home, and that's the movie.
It's like if it's like if Private Parts was happening in the DMZ. Like, that's all it is.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so Robin Williams.
Yeah, pause. I think you might have stumbled on a good movie though.
What?
Okay, Private Parts.
Right.
But it's in the Private Parts, but cyberpunk dystopia.
Wow.
There you go.
I spent
there's the movie right
I spent like 15 minutes trying to come up with a Private Parts, like, private rank joke to try and like knit this all together.
WNBC.
WVetnam.
WVC.
WNVA. So you got to sell it. So the movie opens with Vietnam happening, and one general's plucky idea to turn the tide is to bring in a Air Force DJ from Crete. So he does so. Forrest Whitaker drives him around and gives him the skinny. You meet a bevy of other DJs of lesser quality. They are overseen by two people, Bruno Kirby I
loved him in this. I thought he was
I did
great.
not like Kirby in this. He was the funniest parts of this movie. And then that guy who's always an asshole, I think he was the dickhead senator in Air Force One.
He was. He's an Air Force One or Executive Decision. It's one of the other.
He was also the dick mayor in Pleasantville.
Yes.
He was also the molester basketball coach in the Basketball Diaries.
That's right. Right.
This guy's just a prick, coast to coast.
And he's dead.
Yeah.
Is he really dead?
He's been dead for a minute.
Oh, shit. All right. Shout out to a real one.
Yeah. Like, he had one line in this movie that made me chuckle, and I was as chemically done up as I could to try and enjoy this movie, and I still didn't. And
I don't want to bury the lead. I'm sorry, but this movie fucking sucks.
It's just the boomer. TJ said it's the boomerish jokes. It's just like the jokes aren't even jokes; they're just noises.
It's like you can't even I don't remember if Family Guy or South Park or The Simpsons or probably all of them all do that joke about Robin Williams, like, hey, look at me, I'm nothing, I'm here with this left. You can't parody it because anything you do is exactly what it's like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, this is also.
I'm going to go ahead and say it. The Robin Williams style of humor, like when he gets going, it's just like I just tune out. Like I actually like Robin Williams better as like a dramatic actor. Like he's been in a lot of good movies,
like in Bicentennial Man.
Yes, like in Bicentennial Man. But when he starts going to the then John Wayne's like, hey, no, I can't do it because I don't do impressions. But it's just like.
And then Eleanor Roosevelt walked out and said, I don't know about you.
It's so bad. It's like, it's awful. It's just like, and it feels like, and I mean, obviously, that's why you hire him. but like he ceases to be a character. It's just Robin Williams. Like he's just riffing, and it's like it just feels like he's doing his routine.
But it's also like
but at this point in 1980, whatever, how popular and famous was he at that point?
Oh, he was pretty popular.
I mean, he was famous, but I don't think he was like grounded in that shtick where that's like became his whole personality later on, and for like
you're
people our
right.
age.
I don't know,
like that was his thing, and people loved him for it.
Didn't he do he did stand up, right? Like he did comic relief and stuff.
Mindy, and he was Well, anyway, so they hire this DJ. A reverence ensues. He inspires a nation.
Reverence ensues.
He hijacks an English class to try and get his dick wet. That doesn't, let me tell you. Out. Okay,
this is. I'm sorry, guys. I have to comment on this. Like, I know we. I think we through our best intentions, because we're not like pearl clutching like SJW people. Like, you know what I mean? We're sensitive to a lot of that stuff, obviously, and I think that part of our commentary is we look at a lot of movies that do have like problematic angles, and you're like, okay. But like him like trying to fuck this girl is so fucking weird. And like he literally like chases her across town, and then like it's like, first of all, she looks like a child. First of all,
I was gonna say, not only because it's weird because she's a child, but also weird because of the subject matter, where it's like, oh yeah, we're invading your country, and also we're invading your birth canal.
Yeah,
we will leave nothing fucking undestroyed in Vietnam.
It's the Guadalajara birth canal.
And we didn't touch on it, but like one of the first like Robin Williams jokes is that like he basically says that all of the Vietnamese women look the same, and it's like
it's a double dip because all Vietnamese women look the same, and all Greek women look like Zorba. Like he just
what does that mean? He says that line 3 times. What the fuck is Zorba? I don't.
Zorba the Greeks, Anthony Quinn.
Oh, Jesus. How?
It's like a movie.
This movie came out in 1985 about a movie about Vietnam that happened 15 to 20 years before that. So he's going to make references to shit from the 40s, you know?
Yeah, fair. I didn't know who Zorba the Greek. Now that Alec mentions it, I do kind of, I think I know. Because didn't Anthony Quinn was on Zeus because of that? That was like a callback to that. Like
hell yeah. He was Hercules.
Yeah.
Sorbo the Greek.
Sorbo the Greek.
Yeah, Zorba the Greek was Jimmy the Greek's brother.
Yeah.
So
thigh muscle.
Yeah, bigger. Is this thing on? So anyway, Robin Williams is just creating chaos and advancing the front line well into Laos. And in an attempt to try and bang this chick, he almost joins the Viet Cong by proxy because he becomes best friends with her little brother, who is like a spy master.
Can I stop you real quick before I forget?
Sure.
I think I've made this point on the show before, and I don't remember what it was in reference to, but like I'm pro NVA, like the Viet Cong is based, and when he gets to the kind of like the parlor scene at the end, I'm like, yeah, I'm on this guy's side, but like I'm sure we'll talk about it later. This movie feels, even though it takes place in Vietnam, it feels like it doesn't have any stakes.
Yeah.
Beyond the radio show, which is fucking weird.
Because it all takes place, or 90% of it takes place either on base or in their little town, which has clearly been like gentrified.
But then the movie has like these crazy tonal shifts. Out of nowhere, there's a bar that gets exploded, and it's the gay guy's bar. The gay guy is being dunked on by the Marines.
I want that guy's movie, by the way. Like,
dude, that dude with his crushed velvet green suit.
Oh my god, the drip was insane on that.
And we forgot to mention too that the opening montage, for some reason, Barry Levinson was like very interested in 3 naked boys. I was like, he showed them 3 times. Like, why? I don't need to see that. Like, why did you feel the need to like, hey, they're naked in the street? Awesome. Like, what?
Isn't this fun?
Making sure you understand there's a third world.
Yeah. I mean, I get it.
3 worlds, 3 boys. You'll get it. It all makes sense.
This movie is so strange too, because like there's like a horrors of war scene, but like not really, because like
Right.
Basically, we're all over the place, but this movie sucks, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Robin Williams, like, basically gets down to that, and he's going to quit the show, but then he, like, meets the troops. I don't know if any of y'all heard that, all that nonsense outside, but he meets the troops, and then he, like, it's like his, like, oh, it's all worth it, I'm doing it for these guys moments, and then he goes back to do the show, and then they do It's a Wonderful World to, like, montages of, like, napalm and, like people getting killed. It's like, what is this fucking movie? Because then it cuts back to Rob Williams on, and then John Wayne said, and then I'm like, what the fuck?
And, like, they try and, like, hammer home this moment where the twin security guards from Terminator 2 were censoring all of the news, but then
that doesn't really go anywhere.
Well, there's a lot of things that just don't go anywhere. And then eventually he goes somewhere because he plays fruit ball and leaves, and then that's the movie. Like, that's the whole film.
We didn't even mention the part where him and, like, Forrest Whitaker get lost in, like, the DMZ or whatever, or they get, like, hijacked or some shit.
They get blown up.
They get set up because the master sergeant in charge of the radio stations, like, yeah, you should go that way on that road that's completely overrun by the enemy. And he sends them out to die. He basically tries to frag them, and then they get saved by the terrorist kid, and that's how you find out about that. And then the general completely turns his back on him and puts him on a plane to who knows where. And that's the movie.
That's the movie. Yeah, it's so it's.
Well, he gets his. I think he gets his discharge. I think he goes home.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It has such, like, a weird ass ending because it's just like, that's it. Like, Forrest Whitaker plays, like, a taped message from him, and
at what point did he record that? When did that happen?
At the same time as the recording in Iron Eagle. That doesn't make any sense either. They recorded in the same room. Like, it's such a weird thing. It's like he plays in this message, and then it's like Robin Williams gets on a plane, and then the movie ends. Like, what? Like, I said it to y'all in the text, but it reminded me of Dennis's script for their movie when it's like, and it just kind of ends. Like, that's how this movie felt. It just kind of ended. Like, I don't know. Like, the lieutenant commander or whatever is just, like, a dick for, like, seemingly no reason. Like, and his lackey wants to be a comedian or something. Like,
I'm mildly confused as to the arrangement of the service personnel in this, because Robin Williams is in the Air Force, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes.
They mention it several times.
But the base is run by the Army, because Bruno Kirby and him both say the Army multiple times.
It is.
In the movie.
They're on an Army base.
So, okay.
He's on a student exchange program thanks to that general.
There is, like, I think I mentioned this in the text, but there is so much fucking, like, administrative minutia regarding this fucking radio show. Not even the whole station, just the fucking show. That, like, I'm pretty sure it's why we lost the war, because they're spending an ungodly amount of time and resources dealing with this fucking radio program.
Yeah, and there's a scene, a very quick scene after Robin Williams, like, is riffing on something, and it's like all these people on the phone, like, oh, he was making a joke, sir. Like, who is listening to the show besides...
No, who did they think was in the room? They thought it was actually Walter Cronkite or something.
Oh, is that... I missed that.
Like, no, Walter Cronkite wasn't here, sir.
I watched this at I watched this at 1.5 speed, by the way. It's the first
and
time.
If you're like, are you like, how are you successfully calling in from the front lines to complain about a U.S. Army radio broadcast? Like,
also,
my God, you have more important things to do.
If some news comes across the wire that they redact and you report it, you're getting fucking executed. There isn't going to be any like, oh, he just made a mistake. I like him. I like his Nixon impression. That guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, also, this movie suffers from being loosely based on a real person, but the real Adrian Cronauer is a real piece of shit.
Oh, seriously?
Right.
Oh yeah. Like he wasn't a subversive person at all. He wasn't like anti-establishment. He was like the establishment. He's like a lifelong Republican. He worked for the Dole campaign. He worked for the Bush 2 campaign. And then he used the money from this movie to get his law degree so he could then go on and get disbarred in Virginia for being part of a scam that was pretending to help people that were getting their houses foreclosed on.
Oh my god! Holy shit!
This guy's like a wall-to-wall piece of shit.
He's like my ultimate fucking nemesis. He's like a fucking military guy, a lawyer, landlord, scumbag.
I had no idea. I didn't know this based off a true story.
I mean, it's based off a true story and the fact that there was a guy named Adrian Cronauer who said "Good Morning Vietnam" at one point or another.
Right.
Also, Forrest Whitaker should get an Academy Award retroactively for pretending to laugh at this riffing in the movie.
Oh, everybody! The opening scene, the opening time that Robin Williams does his initial broadcast, they are Arliss and some other guy and Forrest Whitaker are dying laughing at his jokes. Like
Dan the Man Levitan.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. They were like, it reminded me of the if anybody's seen the Party All the Time video, Rick James is orgasming as Eddie Murphy is singing his song. Like he can't get over how excited he is, and that's the level of excitement that these guys had at Robin Williams riffing. Like, this fucking movie. Like,
I liked Forrest Whitaker in it.
It was nice to get like a nice Forrest Whitaker. Like, he doesn't.
What's a bad Forrest Whitaker performance? Like, I was sitting reflecting on it. Like
his performance in this is the exact same as his performance in The Crying Game, just without a terrible British accent.
I've never seen The Crying Game.
His exact same performance as in Bloodsport, where he's also some kind of military/government attaché following some asshole around.
I always forget that he's in that movie. Yeah. Oh,
everybody in this movie's funnier than Robin Williams, weirdly. Like, Robert Wool's really funny when he's reading the communiques that they're sending from Da Nang about, like, this guy sucks a bag of dicks. Like, I don't know. That sounds pretty bad, sir. Like, he's really funny.
He's like, the head sergeant walks in, he's like, these are direct quotes, sir. We're not actually saying that.
Yeah, that was funny.
I like the one guy that was trying to be funny. I thought that guy was good.
Bruno Kirby.
Hysterical.
He is so good in this. It's so good. He's playing his polkas.
Yeah.
He has his little horn.
His opening thing where he's like, I have the Reader's Digest is thinking about publishing 2 of my jokes. Like, that shit was great.
I want them to remake this movie now and let me write it, where it's like Good Morning Kabul and it's just PewDiePie over in Kabul streaming and he keeps getting kicked off. It's like, he said the gamer word, sir. And it's like, oh, I like PewDiePie.
It's PewDiePie streaming Fortnite to the troops.
Yeah.
Trying to get pro tips on how to kill him.
Yeah, like, it's just, and this movie is like super flat. So when they do have action scenes, they're like, it seems really
jarring.
Cheap. Like, it seems like a 70s, what's that movie we watched that takes place in that town my parents live in? Tonight He Becomes a Zombie or whatever the fuck that was.
Was it like Derek Comes Home or something like that?
They had like 3 titles or something. Like, it was like Death Dealer / Derek Comes Home /
Death Dealer was the coolest name.
But this movie fucking and I just like, man, the whole like conceit of like, I didn't realize that like a arch kind of black guy voice was like the height of comedy at one point or another.
Oh, but my God, yeah. Well, and it was black guy voice, it was gay voice,
gay guy voice, yeah. Like, the only time that voice is funny is in Trading Places, where the Karate Man, like, when it's actually a black guy doing the voice. That shit's funny. That scene in Trading Places is hysterical. But like, it's just, it never ends. And like, it's just like riff, going to teach English, riff, going to teach English, riff, like terrorism.
Yeah, that's your movie. That's like the whole movie. And then they try to have some kind of emotional core at the end of the movie with the brother. And it's like, oh yeah, he's right. Like, but what, like that doesn't, I don't know. Like somebody said it earlier, but the whole war feels like detached from the rest of the movie. And like, if that was the point, like, I think that would be fine, but like, I don't think that was intentional. Like, it's very odd. It's the same. It's the same complaint I had with like the fucking Star Wars movie.
He
It's
does
like
this whole spiel. It's like my brother's dead, my mother's dead, blah blah blah, and then Robin Williams like, sucks to suck, GG, I'm out of here. Like, let's go play fruit ball. Like, what? There's like,
It's okay. Like, where's this coming from? Yeah,
Robin Williams did have one good joke though. When he's like all depressed and he's drinking in that bar, and like the kid's like, "Oh, you've had too much to drink," and he's like, "I need to drink this many to be funny." And then the owner comes over and he tells him the same thing, and the owner's like, he says it's not funny at all, and he's like, "Oh, it's terrible to bomb in a different language or something." It's like that's kind of fun.
I think the only joke I giggled at that he dropped was that what's 3 up and 3 down mean to you? And the end of the inning. That was like a restrained joke.
That was an
just
actual
kind of like
joke. It wasn't just him going, "Yeah, man, I'm from Cleveland. Well, Cleveland just as bad as Vietnam, man. New York, Pittsburgh.
You dig? We're here to go." Yeah, awful.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Like the joke, you were in more dire need of a blowjob than any white man I've ever met. Like I don't understand like the racial.
I'm glad you pointed that out because like why did you have to add the white man part? Like it's very odd that like
I'm fine with dunking on white people, but it just doesn't make any sense. Like it's like, wait a minute, are like black guys generally not in need of blowjob? Like I don't understand.
I would say that if you polled the electorate, most people, even at the peak of blowjob receivership, are blowjob deficient. So like, what are we talking?
Oh yeah, I think everybody like is underwater on blowjobs if you ask them.
Yeah, we're all subprime on this
situation. There's also a bit where he's riffing in his English class, and he's like, pretend you're in a restaurant in Queens, and a Puerto Rican waitress comes up to you, but then he doesn't do a voice. I'm like, so what was the point of that? Like, I don't understand. Like, we're just dropping. Like, imagine you're in there and a Filipino guy has a
right? What? Yeah. It's real bad. It's like real bad.
Also, that English class plot doesn't really go anywhere.
It's really there only to service him attempting to pursue the young lady.
Does it feel like the young lady thing gets dropped for most of the movie?
Yeah. After they go to the movies.
Yeah.
With her like every female relative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She doesn't really show up again until the end.
Pretty much the end of the movie, yeah.
When he's looking for the brother.
I laughed. I did laugh with the older guy that that's like hyper literal or whatever, and like is some kind of big pacifist and also very attached to the rules of things. He's like, this is not an appropriate substitute for a baseball. And it's like, will you throw the ball? It's like, no, I will not. Like that guy's funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
That guy was great.
I talking about the girl. I did a little quick math while I was looking up when I was watching the movie. Because I was like, she looks incredibly young. She was 20 years old when they filmed this movie, and Robin Williams was like 35.
Okay.
Also, like, I have a hard time with Vietnam movies. It's like, Vietnam's not funny. Like, war isn't funny in general. Like, but especially that war where it's like anytime there's an international conflict or a bunch of farmers are taking on an international war machine, I'm siding with the farmers no matter what country they're in. But like I also feel bad for like all these like disaffected American youth that are over there going to get blown up, and I feel like they want to kind of touch on that for a second with that whole like, hey man, they really need you. Like if you don't get out there, we'll lose the war or whatever. And he has that scene where they all go, but like, don't you also need a scene where something comes across the wire that they've been using the whole time that like, hey, this whole convoy got destroyed or like,
I thought they
were going to drive away and explode.
I thought that there was going to be some kind of report where it's like that caravan got nuked or whatever. Like they're done. Like, that didn't happen. Like, it was like, then what was the point of that scene? It seemed like so obvious that's what they were going to do. I don't know.
It was so Robin Williams could find his smile again.
Yeah, thank you.
Basically.
100%. Tone in this movie is a fucking disaster. Like,
it's not a consistent movie in any facet. Like it's
also like
all three phases.
What is like the point of the movie? Like what is the message it's trying? Like
war is hell, I guess.
But it's not really.
No, but like,
that's not.
No.
Yeah, it seems kind of fine, really. I mean, like
That's message. War is fine.
I mean, the townsfolk seem okay. It's like and it's weird because like having the revelation that the one guy that Robin Williams has been vouching for is VC or whatever and blew up that bar. So like the racist army guys in the beginning were kind of right to like not like it's like wait the
also his best friend is a child.
Yeah. Go back to those nude boys. Like,
well, it's like that. The whole racist fucking scene in there is just an excuse for Robin Williams to like list off every racial slur in the world.
I forgot about that joke where he's like, "Hey, if we get rid of I'm not gonna say them, but
please don't."
But he literally like goes through like the litany of it, like, "Oh, get rid of them."
It was like worse than the fucking Animal Mother scene in Full Metal Jacket, and like there was a point to that.
Yeah, it's real bad. I don't know. This is a tonal mess. I don't know how. Like this movie,
they make Vietnam seem like it was like fucking Grenada or something. Like they were there for an afternoon and two guys got blowed up by accident. You know what I mean?
This movie was like beloved when it came out too. I don't understand. I really.
And I mean, if it was like at the time period it came out, it was coming out and it was targeting, presumably our parents' generation who actually fought in that war.
Well,
absolutely,
your parents.
So like. Well, yeah, I guess my parents. But
Sean,
like,
didn't your dad? Wasn't your dad in Vietnam?
No, he's too young.
Oh, I thought he was.
Yeah, I think he was like 16 when Vietnam ended.
He was in the service, though, right?
Yeah, he was in the pussy era where all they did was like get drunk and whack buffaloes with pool cues and bang hookers.
Based.
Yeah, the based era of like, service.
There was like, so I guess would people who served in that and people who went there, would they find this levity like insulting? Like I don't know.
No idea.
How often were these motherfuckers listening to the radio? Wasn't that going to give away your position?
Yeah, exactly. Like if I was Charlie, I'd just be like, well, just shoot where the radio no shoot where you hear Walter Cronkite coming from the bushes.
Yeah.
This sits at 89%.
Like just a bunch of fucking VC sitting up there. Like, do you guys hear Anne Margaret?
Yeah.
Like what's
this sits at 89% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's fucking nuts. This movie is like,
and it made $123 million in 1988.
Do you think people are not willing to posthumously criticize it since Robin Williams is dead?
I doubt most people.
I don't think those reviews are probably retroactive, right? They probably are pulled from.
They're probably old reviews. I don't think
there's a fucking. People just love Robin Williams, man. Like he's in a lot of these movies. There's like two kinds of movies. There's three kinds of Robin Williams movies. There's Good Will Hunting. There's like the Insomnia Final Cut, 1 hour photo era, which I think is the most interesting. 100%. And then there's this movie. There's Miss Doubtfire. Go ahead.
So we know, but Sean's right. Okay,
hold on.
I want to come back to this point. Go
ahead. I feel like I'm getting gaslit by this review. So this is a top review. I went to Rotten Tomatoes. This is, they do a little blurb.
Is it Armand White?
No, this is from the Variety staff review. I don't know. From the start, the film bowls you over with excitement, and for those who can latch on, it's a nonstop ride. They're not talking about this movie. There's no excitement in this fucking movie.
This movie is a
dead president.
Yeah.
Okay, when I clicked on it, the link is dead. So.
Yeah, no kidding.
As it should be.
But to Sean's point, I was thinking about when I was watching it. Like there is like a type of Robin Williams movie, and I don't know if anyone else has done these besides Robin Williams. Is like silly man teaches lessons through goofiness. Like, and that's like
Patch Adams, Dead Poet
Society,
Jack Black,
Jack Black. Roger
right.
Ebert gave this a 4 out of 4, and the little blurb says Williams is a virtuoso.
Hates Blade Runner, loves Good Morning Vietnam. Glad his face caved in.
Like 4 out of 4. That's a perfect score for him. That's crazy.
Even Mrs. Doubtfire is the same. Like, at least that growing through silliness. I mean, I think it's funny. I haven't watched it in a while. I like Robin Williams. Don't get me wrong. It's just like this movie. What Robin Williams
movies do you like? I like Good Will Hunting. I like 1 Hour Photo. Oh, Death to Smoochie's great. Yeah, I forgot.
That's Smoochy.
I like 1 hour photo.
Aladdin.
Love Aladdin.
What's the one where he fakes where his son got cancer? World's Greatest Dad.
Oh, that one's good too. That was like late. That's a Bobcat Goldthwait movie.
That's like the good Bobcat Goldthwait movie.
No, the movie where you never saw Sleeping Dogs Lie. It's about the movie. It's about the woman that fucked the dog that one time.
I heard that's really good. No, but I really hated that other one. The one he made that was like about the two like killers. That I fucking hated that movie.
The Sexy Sister film to the other American Idol movie.
Yeah, it was awful. Anyway,
I liked Toys.
Toys. I want to revisit Toys.
I haven't seen that in a fucking dog's age.
That movie was fucking wild, if I remember correctly.
It's weird as shit. I know that.
Yeah, it's got like Joan Cusack is like a robot, and LL Cool J is a commando, and his dad is Powers Booth, maybe.
Yeah.
But isn't LL Cool J also his brother or something?
But
it's weird. It's like something like that.
They want to design toys for the military or something like that.
This was like Small Soldiers.
Weird take. I've got like an unexplained crush on Joan Cusack because she's not attractive. Like
no, that's not unexplained. No, I'm 100%
are you
there
on
with
that
you.
side?
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm without a doubt.
Y'all can stay over there. I'm gonna. Anyway, anything else you want to say about Good Morning Vietnam?
This is like the most like fucking bland Vietnam movie ever, right? Like there's nothing that's this fucking milquetoast and like almost like weirdly insensitive.
Yeah. Well, God just said it, and I totally agree. Like, I feel like if you were in Vietnam and saw this, you'd be like, what the fuck was that? Like, this is worse than getting spit on in the street when I came back home. Which, by the way, apparently didn't actually happen. That's that's a whole big like boomer lie.
I mean, it was cool when it happened in Preacher. Like that shit was fun.
Right, but like the whole like the whole narrative that like soldiers came back and people are like spitting on
America fucking loves war.
Yeah, that shit didn't happen. That's a whole manufactured story. So. If
that shit was gonna happen, it would happen now, and it still doesn't happen. So like, fucking miss me with all that shit.
I'm like I'm like Kojima. I'm pro soldier, anti-war. Like I don't have any like it's not there.
Hell yeah, I want a fucking floating platform full of mercenaries.
Yeah, put me on Mother Base.
I want cow machines that launch nukes. That's
I just want to stand there and just be like, that is not correct, sir. Like I can do that.
No, I want to be lifted up on that fucking balloon thing.
Well, only to like scrub toilets in a base that you have no affiliation to.
Yeah.
All right, you guys watch this puppy. I'm going to ride a horse from Afghanistan to Los Angeles.
This movie is incredibly bland.
It's super boring too. Like,
and it's not funny. Like, it's not. There's nothing to it. Like, it's like
I stand by my anti-dramedy stance. Like there are very few that I can't think of any off the top of my head that are like really good, unless you count like Good Will Hunting.
I was thinking about this. Would you consider what's his name, Riley Stevens's movies dramedies? Like
I don't know what those are.
Art of Self-Defense, is that a dramedy? It kind of is.
It's like a black comedy.
That's a black comedy.
Okay, yeah. Right.
I mean, it's in the same vein as did he also do Observe and Report?
No, he's only made 3.
Jody Hill did Observe and Report.
Jody, that's a good one. Yeah, is that that's just a comedy? That's a black comedy.
Those are black comedies. What is the shit? Why can't I think of the Leland Orser, the really good fucking Riley Stearns movie? What is that called? Yeah, that movie fucking rules. That's not rules. That's just dark.
That movie's not even really funny. That movie's just kind of sad. Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm just trying to think of like what's a really good dramedy like.
One doesn't even come to mind. Like I can't
like a Lars and the Real Girl. Like that's okay.
Ooh, that's a good one. I like that one.
I don't know that movie.
Oh, it's good. You should watch it. Baby Goose.
I'm looking at one right now, Bringing Out the Dead, but I don't even know if that's like funny enough to be a dramedy. Like that's like
I feel like that's just a lot of drama. That's like a weird.
There's a ton of comedy in that movie though. It's like absurdist too. Like.
I don't know.
I mean, man.
If that counts, then that's
this is another fucking Patient First certified banger, right? Like,
absolutely, yeah. I said, this is a movie for your parents.
This is sold out night on the Lido deck on a Carnival cruise.
They just wanted to watch a movie. Yeah. Like it just needs to be a movie. I don't need to have any emotional attachment to it. It just needs to be actors.
I'd rather not have emotional attachment to it.
Yeah. I mean,
this is a movie that gets somehow preempted by Sunday Night Football and 60 Minutes at the same time. Like you just get 10 minutes of it between the two.
Anyway, let's get into Five Knuckle Shuffles. Sean.
0. I fucking hate this movie. Like, I don't think it has any redeeming qualities at all. It really doesn't. Like, besides like Robert Wall being funny, I'll give it a 1 because the side characters are good. Like the acting from those people is good, but like it's boring to look at. Like the plot is fucking non-existent. Like it's just like the fact that it's based on a real guy who was a real piece of shit that they had to like dramatize to make less of a piece of shit, but still kind of like he's still like an asshole, right? Like
right, yeah.
But it's not framed. It's got that problem where, and I don't want to get off on a weird jag because I'm sure we all want to go to bed at some point, but this is one of those movies where like they lionize journalists, and I know he's not like a journalist, but he has those like I got to get the news out there tendencies.
I hate that
where
shit
it's
too.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? Like
Absolutely.
It's just like like the Fourth Estate, like they're not all just like mostly corporate puppets. Like that hasn't been a real journalist since fucking like Carl Woodward. I don't know, man. Like I got nothing for this, and like I've got a soft spot for Vietnam movies in general because I think most of them do a decent job. It's like Vietnam's the first war where they like they made movies about it where it was right, yeah, where it was like this is what happened, or like a version of what happened. And some of my favorite movies are Vietnam movies: Full Metal Jacket, Dead Presidents. We named there's a bunch. I mean, Apocalypse Now is ostensibly like a Vietnam movie, but not really, but still kind of is.
I would consider a Vietnam movie.
Yeah, but I mean, it's based on Heart of Darkness, so it's not really a Vietnam movie. It's just used it as a set dressing, but whatever. I mean, like, without getting, like, real off-kilter. And you can make, like, funny war movies. Like, Stripes is funny for half of the movie. And,
the Cold War was hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, Spies Like Us is still funny. Like, but this is just, like, I don't know what... like you said, the audience is, I just want to watch a movie. Like, and that's the worst kind of movie for me. Like, that don't bother. Don't waste my fucking time.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like I mean, I guess they made sense because they made a lot of money, but like, the drive to make this movie, I don't understand.
Yeah, Alec.
Oh, I'm gonna give it a 5.
Yeah,
100%.
Like, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. And it's not honestly like I don't mind Robin Williams. I don't mind that like hair on fire shtick that he has as much as you guys do. Like, I would not want to be like his friend. That would be awful. Like to have to deal with that shit like in person all the time.
Hey, Alec, what are you doing? Hey, you're playing football.
Imagine having a friend who's always on and never just like can be himself.
Hey. I feel attacked.
I'm just like pulling my collar right now.
But like
Gogs and me both are like, is he talking about me?
But like
I don't later, TJ.
I don't mind his like his whatever you want to call it, his joke a second shtick. But like just nothing in this movie like sticks with me. Like it's fine. It's perfectly fine. I don't know why people hold it in such high regard, unless it's just like a nostalgia thing from seeing it when, let's be honest, like the high watermark for movies was a lot lower then. Like,
that's a good point.
Like, I mean, I know a lot of shit gets greenlit now. We're like, how did that get greenlit? But there's also like 8 billion studios now.
Yeah,
that all seem to have money to burn. Like back then, there was
coming
like
out.
10 studios.
And you didn't have access to like the weird stuff that was coming out anyway. Like the chances of you seeing like weird independent stuff and things like that just wasn't happening.
This made 123 million in what do you say, 1987?
Yeah, 88.
Monies. Like the Intern made almost 200 million like 5 years ago. Like
insane.
If you convert Good Morning Vietnam's money, it's probably like 300 or 400 mil. Maybe not quite that much.
I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, like it's fine. I like Robin Williams. I like all the supporting characters or actors. I thought were really good. Like Robert Wool. Usually, I find him very irritating, and I think it's because Arliss went on for too long. Like I loved Arliss for a while, and then it was just kind of like,
dude, you know I love Arliss.
It was just like an excuse for them to just have athletes on every episode. Like the plot went into like the ground.
Robert Wall had like an HBO show. This is after Arliss, where he just like taught a classroom about some historical meme or some shit. Like it was like I remember he did one on the Battle of Agincourt. It was like a weird like Spalding Gray kind of lecture comedy thing.
No, that sounds amazing though.
It's not bad. Also, you nailed it. $320 million. What it would have been in today money.
Adjusted U.S. dollars.
So it made like a quarter of a Rogue One.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Robert Wool is good. Bruno Kirby, like I know I've seen him in tons of stuff. I couldn't think of another movie if my life depended on it.
The only one I can ever think of is Donnie Brasco. That's it.
And yeah, with his like voice, I would imagine that he is in a lot of like gangster movies. Or like just New York based movies, I guess. But I thought he was really good in it. Forrest Whitaker was good enough. Yeah, I don't think I'm as hard on it as everybody else, but I still didn't think it was like great. I've never seen it before either, so I had no like affinity for it. And this is like a movie I figured I would have seen on that HBO round the clock.
Oh yeah, you know that is true. I'm surprised that this wasn't on the rotation.
But I don't know. Maybe it was too popular, or it was one of those ones where like they'd have their like Friday night new release, but they'd only show it like for a week or two.
For whatever reason, I remember this being on like the non-pay cable channels. Like this was on like TBS.
Well, it's very safe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
except for the nude boys.
Is there even much cussing in it? A little bit,
there's
maybe?
A couple there's like a few F-bombs.
It would have been easy to get it.
Easy edited those out, no doubt.
Yeah, easy to get it for network television.
Yeah.
Or non-premium channel. Gogs.
Or like premium.
I'm also giving it a 5, but for different reasons. I feel like it's like a textbook 5 in the sense that it's just not like it didn't draw ire from me. It's just like so just there. Like it's just wallpaper. Like it's for a movie that's trying to be zany and trying to be this, that, and the other. It's just like the jokes, and I wanted the jokes to land. Like I sat there, like I wanted to laugh at this. I'm just going. It made me sit there when I was watching it, like reevaluate my thoughts on Robin Williams. I'm like, am I good with his like whole? It's like, no, his stand-up's okay, and like I like some of his stuff, but like this, the just nonstop assault of him just doing things like it's like a non sequitur after non sequitur after non sequitur. It's just too much. It's too much, and like the plot is all over the place and doesn't really go anywhere, and then the tone is all over the place but doesn't land. Like this movie, and I've never seen this movie before either. Like the best part of this movie, the best parts we already touched on: Forrest Whitaker, Bruno Kirby, and the soundtrack. But this is a 5 because I will forget about this movie. Someone will bring this up 10 years from now and I go, maybe, did I see that movie? I think it's just not, there's nothing to chew on. It's like the worst kind of movie in that regard. It didn't evoke any really emotional response from me. So that's, I know there's probably a better movie to be made here somewhere, but this ain't it, Chief. AJ.
It's a 1. It's a 1 bordering on a 0. It's fucking horrible. Like I hated it, and it's really dated, like in every possible way. And like, I like a lot of Vietnam movies, and I wouldn't call them dated. Like it just feels like, I don't know, like the humor doesn't work for me. And again, like Robin Williams has like go home heat for me as far as that
Same.
shit goes. Like I hate
Robin Williams is the X-Pac of comedy.
When he starts going off, and it's just like I just want to be. I disassociate. Like I don't want to be in the same room anymore. Like it's just like he reminds me of like the annoying like anime or comic book kid that like thinks to be funny that they just have to like just be very energetic. Like no, like it's awful. I hate it. It drives me insane. And the rest of the movie's really bad too. Like I think it's full of like I said earlier, like the whole plot is very problematic. Robin Williams is like an asshole that's like just he feels entitled to date some child in Vietnam for some reason. Then it gets into his like ham-fisted like morality kind of like, oh, I gotta run a good show, and it's just like for the troops that are getting blown up, like what? Like why do they care? Like they like Sean said, like when do they have time to listen to the fucking radio?
How much if you were like in a trench getting shelled, like how much impact is the like? I think this is the last thing I want to hear on the radio, right?
The only thing you should be allowed to hear on the radio in Vietnam is Creedence Clearwater Revival. Them's the rules. I didn't make them.
It's just Fortunate Son on a
just
loop
Fortunate
forever.
Son.
Yeah. But it's really fucking bad, and it's really
Silver Dollar by the Allman Brothers every fifth loop of Fortunate Son.
Or Whipping Post, depending on the time of day.
It's really boring. Also, like ultimately, by how the movie ends, like it ultimately shows you that the movie is like about fucking nothing because they can't figure out a way to like have like a kind of like a crescendoing ending or like
the thing is
like
they don't introduce like an issue other than like him getting suspended every 5 minutes until I don't know Act 4 of the movie, and then there's no resolution, and then the movie ends.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible. Like I hated it. Like I said in the intro to the show, like I don't understand most of the jokes. Like I don't understand the references. Like I get it. Sean's right. Like it's topical to the time period or whatever, but it doesn't make it funny. Like I don't, you know what I mean? Like, oh, it's like Groucho Marx. Oh, it doesn't like, shut up. Like, I don't care. Shut up. Just shut up. Stop it. I hated this fucking movie. It's terrible. And this is also a movie with the help of my VLC player on my computer. I watched it at 1.5 speed. So it literally, like Robin Williams was talking even faster when I watched it. Yeah. But yeah, terrible fucking movie. Would not recommend.
And it didn't even have the fucking song in it.
No, it didn't even have the fucking song in it. Anyway, that's fucking Good Morning Vietnam. Good God.
Blah.
Who's got a pick? I got one.
Well, my birthday's the week after next, so I don't have to pick anything from this list.
Nice.
Lucky you.
I guess I'll go.
No, lucky you guys, because you're gonna watch the fucking Daily Wire, Gina Carano, Hunter Biden biopic. So
I can't wait.
Enjoy that.
I can't wait.
Christ.
Oh,
I might not do because it's gonna be bad. Like it's not even gonna be funny.
Why don't you pick the one where she's like in the Old West, or that one where it's like a school shooting? Ben Shapiro.
Oh, Run, Hide, Fight.
Yeah,
I don't know. No, I don't know. I'll pick something fun.
I'm gonna pick Sleepers, which is a movie I've never seen, but I hear
is that the movie about the kids getting fucked or Robert Redford hacker? Oh, okay.
That's Sneakers.
Okay, cool.
Two gangsters seek revenge on a state jail worker who, during their stay at a youth prison, sexually abused them.
That is correct.
That's not a great description of that movie, but yeah.
It's got Brad Pitt in it.
It's got a great cast. And
I sat there praying for Father Bobby's God for help, the help that never came. I've seen that movie like 10 times.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's good. Kevin Bacon was on a kid fucking rampage in that era.
He's in The Woodsman.
All right, well, we get to watch a movie about kid fucking. Can't wait.
Yeah,
I've never seen the movie. I've heard it's good. So
it's got Jason Patrick's in it.
Apparently, it has the song in it. So we'll see this. every week it'll be a challenge if the movie that's supposed to have the song in it actually has the song in it.
I still think nothing will beat the time that I watched the wrong movie.
That was the best. You watched the wrong 50 Cent Val Kilmer movie,
which is insane.
Like, how could you know?
I think they had the same plot too.
Yeah, they did.
All right, everybody, that's the show. Cogs, you got anything to plug?
Not Good Morning Vietnam, and just not the Vietnam War in general. How about that?
Yeah, thumbs down on the Vietnam War.
Thumbs down. Gogs gives the Vietnam War 2 thumbs down.
Not good morning, not good evening, not good night.
No.
All right, everybody. See you later.
Later, dorks.
Later.